Hello, I'm Richard Ridge for BroadwayWorld. Brian Cox has returned to Broadway as President Lyndon B. Johnson in Robert Schenkkan's new play, The Great Society, which is the follow-up to his last play, All the Way. And we caught up with the company just minutes after the opening night curtain rang down.
Originally we were doing it as a reading, and I was supposed to be one of many LBJs because of LBJs. They kept saying, he's such a complex character. We need lots of actors to play him. And I said, well, I could have a go. So I came to it, and then we decided to make it. And 3 weeks we had to prepare this. We had no time. So we came out and we did it. And it's just been extraordinary. And of course, this amazing cast. I mean, I couldn't have hoped for such support like the support I've had. So it's been quite a monumental experience, really.
I think this play is very important right now because of the pertinence of how do we make our society function. We've seen in history the political battles that have been fought, and I think it's important that people see what it takes to get bills passed, what it takes to get rights, and these things can't be taken for granted. We have to work and fight at them every day, and I think that's one of the important reasons that Dr. King is one of my heroes, and that the play The Great Society reminds us of.
Anything that makes us think about who we are as citizens and what the greater good of our country is, and what it's so important to become a conscious political animal in any time that you live. It's a privilege to live in a country like this, so you have to think about what your responsibility is as a citizen, and this play awakens those thoughts. And also, it may be a history play, but I remember it all. So it's great to even the tough stuff, it's great to live through it.
Listen, this is one of the nicest, most talented companies I've ever worked with. It's a wonderful slice of American life. That's what this company represents in every way. And there's no way to do as complicated a play as this is if you don't have that great a group. So that's, it's true ensemble work.
I find it a really comforting play, actually. And I know that's weird to say, but I'm comforted by the reminder of how much we have lived through as a country already. And how a time of incredible unrest was actually, a badge for our country, ultimately. And so that gives me great comfort to remind people of that every night.
It means a lot to me about, principles and how they make it into our daily lives through government. And it also means something to me. My dad worked in the Johnson administration. He was the first Undersecretary of Housing and Urban Development. My sister's a U.S. Senator from New Hampshire, and so the play reads to me every night as a sort of morality tale and as a memory play to my own sort of introduction to life, which came through my parents' lives in the Johnson administration, in D.C. in the 60s.
It is most extreme. I think we have 5 Tony Award nominee or winners there, and they are throwing their bodies across the stage, flinging themselves into a dozen roles apiece. It is so exciting to see actors given a challenge like that. It's the most thrilling, I think, for an audience.
I think audiences should see this play because it's a great ride. It's a thrilling ride from beginning to end. The drama, the comedy, the tragedy. It's just a great, great ride to be on.
We had 3 weeks of rehearsal to do this. So it's it's been unbelievable. I think the best thing about this has been just we have a company that seems to love each other, and that's the same thing as loving each other.
It was such a thrill knowing what the audience was going to go through, because it's just a fabulous show every night. I have to say that it really is, knock wood, but it's just the most amazing show to be a part of.
It gives a historical reference for our history, and unfortunately a lot of the events that happen are still happening today. And for me as an actor, it's really important to be able to connect our humanity, to start a conversation about what needs to happen in our communities and what needs to change, and what we can also uplift as well.
Well, Robert Schenkkan talks about the morality of power, and I'm sure you've heard that phrase before tonight. And we're living in a time when the morality of power is very relevant, whatever side of the aisle you happen to sit on. What does executive power mean? What does it mean to wield it against
things you can't control and things you can control. And I think that this play is talking to us about that, and also very revealing and very illuminating about a period in American history that a lot of people don't know about.
I'm hoping that people will watch this play and that it is a catalyst for them to learn about civics. What do we need to do to make sure that we make informed decisions about the world in which we live? And it isn't just about a presidency, but it is about all those other things and other aspects. How are we thinking about our neighbors when it comes to Medicare? What are we thinking about our future in terms of making sure that students aren't taking on debt, taking on a mortgage when they're 18 years old to go to college? So this is what I love about it. It gives us that opportunity. It ignites conversations about issues that we need to be mindful of today.
In the political climate we live in, what this play means.
I think we're still having an opportunity to build a great society and to manifest our nation's creed in a way that it's never been manifested before. And I hope that this play inspires people to think about what they can do to do that.
The divide in the country today is similar to the divide that was during LBJ's second term. Although it was the youth of the country, that was a kind of a different divide, the youth against the establishment.
Things are fraught. You know, we are a country in turmoil and kind of at war with each other. And I think that that's where we kind of were then, for different reasons, but and there are similarities.
I mean, we are living through times different but similar to what happened in the late 60s with the resurgence of divisive politics, of racism, of dirty tricks. We really need to pay attention and not make the same mistakes twice. So what a good time to revisit what happened during the Johnson administration.
The reason why it's so incredibly important is voters' rights. We have to get out there. We have to get out there and make our voices heard. We must do this. Millions and millions of people dedicated their lives, their time, their efforts to make sure that we, now, 2019, have a voice in our government. And it's really important. And I encourage everyone to come and see the play and see why it's so important.